Back here on Debrief, I'm Narit Ben, and we're moving on from Mideast politics and the CIA to space. So welcome, breath of fresh air. Walking around in Israel's Negev desert is an experience. In some areas, miles of quiet land, and then a massive crater that dwarfs the animals wandering inside it. Now, a European team of scientists is betting that it doesn't just look like something out of a space movie, but it can actually simulate the real thing. On that, our senior defense correspondent, Shai Ben-ari, talked to the team to see how they're hoping to actually get human life onto Mars.
It's the next great frontier in space exploration. But could a journey to the planet Mars include a stop in Israel's southern deserts? Dr. Gernot Gromer is the president of the Austrian Space Forum. He believes that humanity is destined to eventually reach the Red Planet, and that Israel could have a role to play in that mission.
We are a research organization from Austria which is simulating human Mars expeditions. So this is something which is going to happen within the next 20 to 30 years. So we strongly believe the first human to walk on Mars is already born. It might be, just going to an elementary school in Haifa or Tel Aviv, who knows.
In the past, the Austrian Space Forum has conducted Mars simulations in countries such as Morocco and Austria. But the next location could very well be Israel.
We're looking for areas which look like Mars to some extent. And we've been finding a particularly interesting area in Ramon Crater.
The Ramon Crater is a unique geological formation in Israel's southern Negev desert. During their stay here, members of the Austrian Space Forum scouted out the location. In a few days, they will travel on to Oman, which is the other candidate to host the next Mars simulation.
The one thing that brought us here was that Ramon and the area of Ramon Crater has a really high diversity of geological regions within very short amount of distances.
The actual simulation, dubbed Amity 18, will take place in February of 2018, with the final decision on the host nation likely to be taken in April.
For 1 month, an international team of researchers and what we call analog astronauts, people who are trained like astronauts in analogy to future flight projects, will emulate selected aspects of a human mission to Mars. That includes working with spacesuits, that includes working with robotic vehicles, aerial vehicles, and basically emulating, for instance, the search for life on the Red Planet.
Representatives from around 20 different countries are expected to take part.
It will have to be an international endeavor. It's not a single country going to Mars, it's us as humans going to Mars.
Monica Fischer is head of public relations for the Austrian Space Forum. She's joining us from Vienna. Monica, great to have you. So we just saw some of what you guys are looking for a simulation. Take us into what a simulation of life on Mars, on Earth, actually looks like.
So it's really a great site, actually. You have the analog astronauts walking around and doing research. So the analog astronauts are the people wearing our spacesuit simulators. These are the people who are trained in analogy to astronauts, and they perform different experiments. They try working procedures. They also communicate with the Mission Support Center, which will be based in Austria, and they will have a time delay of 10 minutes. So this is also part of the simulation, that they will have to wait at least 20 minutes for an answer. So they have to be trained very well, and they will also try out different kinds of equipment. They will have rovers with them so that they can really look at the at the surface in Israel, at the landscape, as if it would be Mars, and try to find life there.
Monica, what makes Mars such a subject of interest? What makes it a candidate for life?
Well, I think basically because it's nearly in the habitable zone of the sun, so it's a good distance from the sun, and we have a lot of evidence that there might have been water and even oceans there for quite a long time. So maybe life evolved there, and maybe there is still some microscopic life underneath the surface, or even just some archaeological residues. But it might be possible that there still is life.
If you were to give us your best guess, how far in the future might human life actually set foot on Mars?
Well, We are thinking about 30 years. So we think that the future Mars astronaut is already alive, is already maybe in school, maybe in Israel, some student already interested in engineering or in spaceflight or in science. And so, yeah, he or she is already alive, and maybe we'll have a good look at what we're doing at the Ramon Crater in Israel.
Maybe in our lifetime then. Monica Fischer, thanks very much for being with us tonight.